The life of James Walker Fannin Jr. James Fannin was born on January 1st, 1804. He married Minerva Ford. They had two daughters, Missouri Pinckney, July 17th, 1829, and a second daughter, Minerva, nicknamed Eliza, who was born mentally challenged in 1832. While living in Columbus, Georgia, he enlisted in the militia and worked as a merchant. In Muskogee County, he was a member of the Temperance Society and served as a short-time judge. By 1832, Fannin was involved in the illegal business of transporting slaves from Cuba. In 1834, Fannin settled his family at Velasco in colonial Tejas, now Texas, where he owned a plantation and was managing a partner in slave trading syndicate. By 1835, Fannin was involved in the growing Anglo-American resistance to the Mexican government in Texas. He wrote letters seeking financial assistance and volunteers to help Texas. By September, Fannin was an active volunteer in the Texas Army. He took part in the Battle of Gonzales on October 2nd and urged Stephen F. Austin to send aid to Gonzales. Fannin later worked with James Bowie under Austin's orders to secure supplies and determine the conditions in and around Gonzales and San Antonio de Bejar. He played many roles in the Texas Revolution, but his most important roles were being included in the Battle of Toledo Creek and the Goliad Massacre. After the failure of the Battle of the Alamo, Fannin resorted to take his men back to Presidio La Bahia, which he named Fort Defiance. Before they could reach shelter at Toledo Creek, about 400 yards away, the Mexican army arrived with Jose de Oria as their leader. The Texans formed a small square in the middle of the prairie to defend themselves. The Mexican army tried to penetrate the Texans' forces, but they could not break through. They waited until nightfall for some sharpshooters to kill the rebels, and they injured more soldiers. Since the Texans could not get much water for their wounded, they felt like they couldn't hold out any longer, so they surrendered on March 20th. So the Mexicans took the Texans back to Fort Defiance as prisoners. On March 26th, Santa Anna ordered Portilla to execute the prisoners. On March 27th, Portilla had 400 Texans marched out, and most of them were shot. The survivors were either clubbed or knifed to death. James Fannin was the last to be executed. He was shot in the face, and then his body was burned with the rest of the dead soldiers. I think this story can show that persistence is key, although Fannin is not a good example, whereas his persistence led to death. But James Fannin played a large role in the Texas Revolution and helped us get to where we are now. Narration by Sammy Gottlieb. Oh yeah!